Sam Ford, digital media strategist. You know, we touched a little bit on privacy in a previous conversation, but guess what? I mean, it's such a big topic. Where do you see this going? This is what you study, this is what you research. Where are we headed with all of this?
Well, I think we're going to have a more nuanced conversation about privacy. You know, people have said, well, even people like Mark Zuckerberg have said, you know, expectations of privacy are changed, and the idea of privacy in the classic sense is over. And there's some truth to that people are much more comfortable with living in some ways what we could consider a more public life. We represent ourselves online in various ways that people can find. On the other hand, I think there's a lot of nuance in that expectation of, I don't mind living my life publicly, and there's a lot of advantage to managing a profile, but on the other hand, I want to be able to have all these controls and restrictions in place on how my data is used. What's the shelf life of that? What control do I have over it? I think one of the crucial questions is, if I want to leave a platform like Facebook, can I take my material with me when I leave? Who owns that material?
Let's talk about the breach that happened with 50 million Facebook users and Cambridge Analytica and Facebook. Individuals can go in to see what has been compromised, but from my understanding, there are only like 500 points that they can, so it's really not all-inclusive, is it?
Well, and it raises that question again of, breach is even a funny word, because no one hacked into the system.
True.
Like, this was at the time, allowable way that Facebook data could be used. It was just used for an alternate purpose and shared with people who wasn't expected to be shared. Or
for a purpose unbeknownst to the user, yes.
Right, exactly, and unbeknownst to Facebook. But
supposedly.
But Facebook knew that people were using the data, and that was unbeknownst to the user, right?
Yeah.
You don't get alerted necessarily when you get one of those apps of see what your face would look like if you were a historical figure.
Yes.
Those third-party apps are meant to also be able to pull down
information. What do you say to somebody, what do you say to the user? Like, let the buyer beware, but you're not buying, you're giving. So, how can you be more smarter about this?
Well, I think part of it is, again, to emphasize that these aren't public utilities. And when you get something for free, you're paying in some way. In this case, you're paying by... You're the product, absolutely. And in a lot of media businesses, you're the product. That also, though, means you have substantial power. Because if you're what's being sold and you have agency and you have knowledge, you can ask for more. Or you can say, you can leave.
One person can make a difference? No.
In a way, but it takes a lot of people thinking that way. So being able to have a conversation about, and we've seen even some independent content creators, media personalities, and media companies in the past week saying they're going to pull their profiles from Facebook. Will Ferrell,
I know,
Playboy magazine. A kind of interesting
mix of people.
And those are also modeling behaviors as well, to raise the question of, I don't have to be on Facebook.
And raise awareness.
Absolutely.
Raise awareness. So for those who may have been, I'm not going to say breached or compromised, because we're not going to use that, but if you want to find out how your information was used, would you suggest that people do that?
I do, and I think there are ways to see everything that Facebook collects about you. Facebook keeps a running profile of information about you that is how advertising is targeted and tailored to you. I think that's worth checking out. It's also worth taking that same mentality to the rest of the web. There's a plugin, I think it's for, maybe it's Chrome or Firefox, called Ghostery. And it tells you, it's Ghostery.
Okay.
And every website you go on, if you have this plugin, it gives you a list of all of the companies that are tracking you while you're on that website. And you'll go on a website, and many of them, it'll be 20 different companies that are tracking you to sell ads.
You are not alone. Sam Ford, digital media strategist, thanks for joining us at Coffee Near Me.
Appreciate it.
And of course, feel free to continue the conversation in the comments section below.